In today's eMoney tip of the week, we're going to do part 2 in our series about decision center updates. If you haven't seen my previous eMoney tip of the week, you can go to our website, go to eMoney tip of the week number 61. You can also Google it, say eMoney tip of the week, decision center updates. But here's the bottom line. We're going to start right where we left off. So last time we were talking about the updates between plan and what if compared to techniques and advanced techniques. We had built out Social Security and we showed you how the difference here. So right here, if you see this one, if we click on it, it does the technique right here. This one we had built out underneath advanced plan. And so when we click on this, what's going to do is going to make us open this in advanced plan. So one of the things I mentioned, if you had these built out already in a previous iteration, it was going to save all these in here. So as you're updating a plan, you may want to update this to techniques. So again, modify techniques. This brings in the old techniques that we were used to and allows us to see them across our plan. What's so awesome about this is it allows us to edit on the fly in Decision Center. So I really like this. So again, we're just going to show this one, for example, tax modes, and we can go hit done here. We can go and rename it. We're just going to go and we can change tax modes. So we can turn it on and off from 1040, right? That's just a quick one. If you want to use flat tax mode versus 1040, all kinds of different things. If you're not familiar with techniques, because again, most of my team wasn't, because we always did advanced techniques, you'll have to kind of relearn these, but I think when you learn them, they're going to be really awesome. The biggest complaint I get now with this change, even though it's a great change, is people say, well, why isn't everything under here? Hopefully they're going to get there in the future, but right now, just know it's here. And when I mentioned my first one, this cell business being here, I think is huge. So what are what ifs? So the idea here is, I talked about it in the first one, these are building out plans. So now you're going to want to name these all the iterations of the plan. You know, retire at 60, maybe save more money, whatever plans that you want to develop for the client to take action on. The idea is to build out what ifs. So there's a big debate on how to do this, but essentially when you come down here to what ifs, we could go here and we could go to add what ifs. All right, so we could add a what if and add. Now let's talk about what ifs used to be in the past. I showed this in my previous one. It would be inside of a report. You're still going to be able to do this. So this is an awesome. There was only certain what ifs. And so when you came into the report and you had these what ifs, there was only certain ones. Now we can create more styles of techniques to use on what ifs in the report. So that's a huge win that I think a lot of people missed when this came out that we really like to use. But let's also talk about how they are in a plan. So if you have your plan here, and let's just use one I have built out here, and you want to have these different things on here, but you also want to turn something on. So let's say, for example, one of the most popular what ifs was always long-term care is needed. Now you can always go and change the name of this and do that stuff. For right now, I'm not going to show you that. But what I want you to see here is now you don't have to build out long-term care in each one of your techniques up there. You only have to build it out in a what if. Except for if you want to show multiple what ifs in a plan. Unless you build out a crazier what if. So you can build out, and so you can start to build out some crazier what ifs. So we can go in here to this what if, long-term care is needed, but let's go to this one we just built out. What if July 2022? See how there's no techniques? Now we can add techniques inside of this what if. So that's where it becomes really powerful, is that we can create all kinds of different techniques inside that what if. But you also have your traditional what ifs, and if you're under advanced planning, and so let's just click on one of these advanced plannings. The what if tab has always been here, so this isn't a change, but you'll see that it always comes standard with the basic ones, right? So this just really becomes powerful. And again, one we really like to use this for is premature death. So there was no way to show premature death without also showing retire at a different age. And the reason why is because it always pulled up different information. So now we can go here, we can change these death assumptions here. So age of death 38, age of death for this one's going to be the same because we're only using the spouse. But now we can also click up here in the plan change and notice how that it's not the same here. So that allows you to show different retirement ages and also different, and obviously the best policy is to always change all these around and name everything, which you have the ability to change just about everything. That was always a complaint back in certain iterations of eMoney that you didn't have the ability to do that. So when we click up here, we could put this as retire early. All right, and now you can do retire early, turn it on, but also do a premature death. So I think it's really, really awesome to be able to do this. It really makes the conversations easier. And again, having multiple what ifs in the same one. So I'm just going to show you one way to do this. And so we're going to go back in here. We're going to go down to the what ifs. And so let's just say this what if July 2022. We're going to rename this. So we're going to call this. I would never recommend, by the way, doing this in front of a client. The world ends. As CFP professionals, I think we have an obligation to use better wording than that. I'm just doing this because it's a joke around, it's a sample client. But now we have what if the world ends? All right, like what if this actually happens, right? What if the worst thing in the entire world? So now it's what if the world ends? And so now we're gonna say, I don't know, let's do add another expense. Let's go to inflation rates, and let's go to growth rates. So we're gonna hit done here, and so let's go to manage and change these around. So we're gonna say expenses go up, inflation go. Again, I would never use these for a client. I'm just trying to have some fun here, right? Trying to make the boring stuff fun. And bad names, but it's just fun to do for here. And so now you can click on each one of these, and now you can say, okay, well, we're gonna have additional $25,000 in expenses. All right. By the way, this is one of the things I should have pointed out. It allows you to live edit these, so you can actually see the impact. Now you can do this when you're in advanced techniques. There's the ability to have a plan up and see what's doing on the cash flow, different reports. They're in the bottom left hand, but this allows you to do this and see what the impact is. So again, we can have inflation goes up through the roof. All right, so let's do inflation up to 12%. And we go growth goes down. So let's do investment rate return goes down to here. And by the way, you can put advanced techniques in here. You can do investment reallocations, all the things you do in advanced techniques. But what's cool about this is you can build this what if. And so you could put it, you know, what if the worst thing happens, or worst case scenario. Again, bad language, I wouldn't recommend that. You have to figure out your own language. And the other thing is, if I was doing this in front of a client, for those of you who've watched a lot of my videos, you know I wouldn't have that chart up there. You know I'd have this Monte Carlo summary up there. So even as I'm live editing it, we'd want to see, okay, what if the world ends versus where we're at. Again, as a sample client. But that's the power of the plans versus the what ifs. It's an awesome update. I've gotten so many questions from people that have been kind of confused by it. eMoney put a lot of great resources out there for you. If you go to help, I have it on present mode here, but if you were to come up here to help, you can type in Decision Center. There's a couple videos, there's sheets to help you out. eMoney provides a lot of resources for you. So I hope this helps you build better plans for your clients. We hope this tip helped educate and empower you to do more plans for your clients so that you can impact more lives through financial planning. If you have some great tips we don't know about, we'd love to hear about them. If you have a better way of doing what we just showed you, we'd love to hear about that, because we are a noble profession, and together we can elevate the profession.